This is Jeff Gilberts. Welcome to my gym in my home. And tonight I'm talking about the ultimate edge, how to get it. And stay with me and I'll explain that. And I'm going a little late tonight, 10:19. You know, it's great. I haven't done this in my gym in a while. And the reason why I haven't been in my gym in a while is because when I was out working, I had an accident and I broke some ribs. And so, which meant I couldn't lift weights for almost 2 months. So now I'm back and I'm excited about that. I'm glad to be back. And I'll be glad to acknowledge anyone who wants to come out of the woods to the campfire and say hello. And I'll give it time to load. I've been in that sauna in the back, you see, right there. Sauna room. My meditation room. It's a great room. And I'm able to sweat out all those toxins. Hey, how's it going, Michael? Good to see you. Good evening. Rocio, it's still early in California, not too late, right? Just after 7. Good to see you. George in New York City. And Scott, hello, how are you? Don't know where you're from, but good to see you. And let's see who else. Who else is going to join us? Debbie. Yeah, I'm glad I'm back too. I'm glad I'm back in my gym. I broke some ribs, so I haven't been able to be back here for some time because I can't lift weights. I couldn't lift weights. Now I can, at least so far I can. Yeah, so it's nice. I'm just loving it. Oh, Knoxville. Hey, where is that? Knoxville. Oh yeah, it's right down the road from me. Hey, Robert Nelson, good to see you. Brian in Chicago, and Robert's in North Carolina. Good to see you. That was, I don't know how in the world I did that. Well, I just lost my balance, and then when I fell, I broke some ribs, and I had never did that before. That was a first experience, so that killed all my gym activity, and I told my wife, now look, I gained some weight, now I got to go back in here and work it down. Mark, good to see you. Tamara in Missouri, good to see you. Erlinda from the Philippines, good morning. It's morning in the Philippines. Good morning, nice to see you. And okay, Scott, you want me to write it up direct to them or direct to them? Okay, for some reason that doesn't compute, but you know, no doubt you're going to explain it to me. Sorry, it's been a long day. Yeah, so here's the thing I wanted to talk about it's an interesting psychology, this business, and psychology is everything in this business. I'm a firm believer in that. You can, you can read all the motivation books you want, or go to those seminars, or read all John Maxwell's books about leadership, and it has great value. I'm not saying it doesn't have great value, but until the psychology is right, nothing is going to work. If I could take all my leaders, and I only had one choice between a company convention or taking them to a Tony Robbins Date with Destiny for 1 week, it's just one. I had to make a choice. I might disappoint my company because I'm taking them to Tony Robbins. I'm going to take them to Date with Destiny. Why? Because psychology is everything. I'm a firm believer that the reason why most people fail is simply because they're not wired right up there. Now they can get wired right. They have to realize what they're doing to themselves, and they have to realize what is going to work and what's not going to work. Now, let me give you some examples of what I'm talking about, because a lot of emphasis, and that we see this all the time. It's been that way since forever, and I've been doing network marketing 41 years. That you'll hear leaders, and there's a book on this too, on you got to find your why. You got to find a why that will make people cry. I think it's important to know your why. I think it's important to know what motivates you. I think it's important to have great dreams and things like that. And you see this all the time with people who promote their business. It's like a shiny object with a chain, at the end, and then they're like hypnotizing you. Look at the mansion. Can you imagine your life in this mansion? The Ferrari in the driveway. It can be yours. It can be yours. You have to believe it. And then they do nothing, right? And then they do nothing. I've seen this a lot, even in my organization. But then I'll taproot, I'll drop down 10 levels deep, work with a leader, create some massive volume, and then everybody that is above that are scrambling, not because of the mansion on the hill, not because of the Ferrari, not because it has to do with the fear of loss. The fear of loss. It's not about pleasure, it's about pain. It's the pain of losing. That's right. And that is the motivator. That is the motivator. But that's just one example. When I talk about developing the ultimate edge, I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm just giving an example of psychology with people, that when they, the inspiration of gaining something, achieving something, is not as motivating as losing something. Yeah, that's right. And when they see that volume that they're about to lose, when they see that volume that they say, my gosh, in order to get paid on that, it's huge, man. I mean, I can make a lot of money. Now, see, that's right. Now they're motivated because they don't want to lose out. It's really true. And that's a motivator. So the thing is, when I talk about, the ultimate edge, how to get it, I'm talking about tapping into not so much your dreams as your pain. Pain is the driver. It's always the driver. When I look at serious leaders, people who've made fortunes in network marketing, they were mostly driven by pain. Pain of what? The life that they had prior to joining their network marketing company. They hated it. I mean, most people who became successful in this business, are people that were very unsatisfied with where they were in life. I mean, so unsatisfied to the point that they had to do this. They had to do this. I'm a perfect example of that, and I was talking about that on a recent Zoom that I did the other night when I had 200 leaders in Asia on the Zoom. But I talked about my life, and I have, of course, several experiences. Some of you know my story, but back 28 years ago when I had a business and it went out of business because I had all my business in two major accounts and I lost both accounts the same year. So I went into bankruptcy, had no money coming in, and it was that way for a while. And so I thought, how am I ever going to get out of this? Now, I had been a hobbyist in network marketing. A hobbyist meaning that I just played with it. I liked it. It was fun. It was fun doing meetings, fun motivating people, fun having extra income coming in from my network marketing business. So I was a hobbyist. But I didn't depend on it. I did not depend on it for a living. Now I had upline that made a lot of money. And I thought it was really great. They were friends of mine. I was very proud of them. But it wasn't until I lost my business that I thought, okay, how am I ever going to get out of this hole? No bank is going to loan me money to start another business. And frankly, I don't want another business where I employ people. I don't want that anymore. I hated it. Hire, fire, hire, fire. When somebody doesn't show up, I roll out. Happens all the time. I got so disgusted with that. And so finally, when it got to the point that, I just thought about it. I said, well, you know what? The only thing that will get me out of this hole is network marketing. I've got to find a company. And then I went and searched for a company. This is 28 years ago. Found a company. The only problem was I didn't have any money to get started. No money to get started. I looked out in the driveway and I saw the only thing that was left from my bankrupt company was that junk truck. The motor didn't start. One of the tires was flat. I kept the window rolled down for the neighborhood cat so he could sleep in it. That way I'd show God I'm trying to do something. I'm contributing something. And I thought, that's my ticket. That's my ticket out of here. I called the junkyard. The guy came over. He says, I'll give you $400. I said, take it. I put $200 in the groceries and I put $200 in my network marketing business. That was how I got started. As Tony Robbins says, when you don't have resources, be resourceful. And that's what I did. I was being resourceful. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be successful. How many people put $200 into a network marketing company, do nothing? Well, that would be the majority of people because they don't have the ultimate edge. But I had to find it. And so the thing about it is, while I'm trying to get my business going, those were very hard times. When I'm driving to do presentations, I didn't even have the gas to get back home. I was that broke. I can remember, and I was going through a divorce at the same time. I remember one weekend when I was getting my children, and I thought, this is so good, go get some groceries. And I went to this grocery store, and previously I had bounced a check, but I made it right. I brought him in the cash and gave it to him, and I apologized. I wasn't good at managing, and I didn't have much money. But anyway, so this time I was getting the kids that weekend. I thought, okay, I'm going to get some food. We're going to go to the grocery store, get some food, and we're going to have a great time. I just want to be with my kids. And I go to the grocery store with my children, and they're just little. And I write them a check, and as I'm leaving, the manager comes up and grabs my cart. He said, you're not going anywhere with those groceries. And he took the cart. That was so humiliating. Right in front of my children, made me feel like a total loser. A total loser. And there were a lot of other experiences and hardships I went through. I could write a book on that. But the thing about it is, that created great pain in me. You see, you have to have more pain if you don't do this than if you do. And people got it in reverse. Most people don't. That's the way they do it. They have pain about doing it. Oh, I hate prospecting. Oh, gosh, I hate following up. Oh, you probably say no. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Or I don't have a success story. I'm not even making money. Gosh, I hate this. I really hate this. That's most people in network marketing. That's right. Because they don't have the ultimate edge. So that is the pain that's driving them, but that's not ultimate pain. So if you want to get to the ultimate edge, you have to tap into ultimate pain. What is ultimate pain? The life that you are going to live if you don't do this. You see, I saw that back then. I hated my life. It was sort of like the movie Gone with the Wind. If you saw Scarlett O'Hara in that movie Gone with the Wind, when she went back to Tara, the farm, that farm that she had, and she was digging in the ground just trying to find something she could eat. And then finally she took just a handful of dirt and held it up against the sky. It was such a moment in the movie. That was probably the most incredible moment in the movie. And then she said, "Hope, so help me God, I will never be here again. I will do whatever it takes, but I will never, ever go through this. I'll never go through hunger again. I'll never go through this again." And she didn't. I mean, and so the thing is, that is the ultimate edge. That's an example of the ultimate edge. Because I'm telling you, with that, you can go through steel walls. With that, it's rare you're going to get no's. You'll get some no's. But when you have the power of belief, when you have that kind of edge, it's very hard for people to refuse you. I was very good at sponsoring people. Not because I was a salesperson. It was because I had that edge. I was so determined. I was so sure of myself. The power of belief. They buy you before they buy your opportunity. They buy you before they buy your product. You are selling you. If you can't sell you, you're never going to go anywhere in this. That's what leadership is. But back then, I said to myself, I don't ever want to go through this again. I will do whatever it takes to achieve success. I don't care if it kills me. I will do it. And it didn't kill me, but that's the way I felt, you know? That's the way I felt. I thought, I'm never, ever going to be and go through this again. And I kept that right in front of me. That pain resonated with me. So I understood that if I didn't do this, my destiny would be ultimate pain. My destiny would be, I would be broke, I would have nothing. I would always be apologizing to my children for the life that we had. Always coming up with excuses why we don't have this, why we don't have that, why we can't go, to Disneyland, why we can't do special things. I did not want that life. I hated it. I hated it deep. And that's what drove me. That's the ultimate edge. And unless you find it, you're never going to be successful in this. I'm being brutally honest with you. Your upline won't tell you that. They just want you to, they want to pat you on the back and tell you how great you are. And it's okay. There's a lot of people that will stay in the game, but they still will never perform. They will never perform. Not with that kind of psychology. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Or dangling the chain in front of somebody with a mansion on the end, saying, "This is your dream, you can have it." It doesn't work. If it worked, most people would not fail at this. And yet people will blame network marketing for this. It's not the industry's fault. Think about any performance, any profession out there that requires performance, And the only ones who are going to be in the 1% bracket are going to be the ones who were driven the most. But it's interesting. It was the ultimate edge. It was the ultimate pain. The pain of not doing this that really drove them. And sure, then when they achieved that success, they enjoyed those material things, the house they wanted to live in, the car they wanted to drive, the traveling the world, whatever, But I can tell you that was always my driving force. And it didn't just stay my driving force just for a year or two. It was my whole entire life. I have some people that sometimes I get this question: what is one quote, if you were to quote somebody, and it could only be one, that really had an impact on you, what would it be? My answer is always Napoleon Bonaparte. I think of Waterloo. Anyway, but Churchill, it was actually Winston Churchill who really, because he looked at that, you know, and he was right in the middle of World War II, right? But I remember Churchill quoting, saying, success is not final. Success is not final. That's right. And I've seen that in network marketing when people, you know, it's the old saying, when you forget where, let me get this right. When you forget where you came from, you're on your way back. When you forget where you came from, you're on your way back. Success is not final. Now that doesn't mean you don't have a life and you live with ultimate pain in your life and you're a negative person. You're not, no, I'm not talking about that. But you don't forget where you came from. You don't forget those circumstances that you had to overcome. That's how you keep your edge. And I don't care what kind of techniques you develop in social media. I don't care what you learn on Clubhouse or who you're listening to. At the end of the day, you can learn all those techniques. You can drive a lot of people to a funnel. At the end of the day, you got to sell you. At the end of the day, they got to buy you. Is it worth buying? Is the question. Yeah, and I'm not saying you're not. I'm not. I'm just saying but would you be that person? But to be that person, you have to have that edge. You have to have that ultimate edge. You have to tap into ultimate pain. That if you don't do this, what is your life going to be like? Now, if you can go off and be a movie star, if you can go off and you're a recording artist and you sound like Josh Groban or whatever artist that turns you on, if you can do those things, go for it. Go for it. Follow your dreams, follow your passions. On the other hand, with network marketing, it can give you the time so that you can follow those passions. That's what it did for me. I have 4 CDs on iTunes. So I love to write. I'm a songwriter. I love to go with my band in the studio and record. I love that. I'm just saying, but if you want to be great at this, you're going to have to develop an edge. And most people, again, it's always pain no matter what. The pain if you don't do this, or the pain if you do this. Most say, oh, it's painful. I hate this. I hate prospecting. I hate talking to people about this. I hate following up. Now, they may not come out and say that, but they show it by their activities. That's why most people will never follow up. 28 years ago, that company I joined, a lady sent me a package. She never followed me up. I gave her a week. I gave her a week after I looked at it. I said, yeah, this is the one. But I'm not going to be signed by just anybody. I want to see if she cares enough that she'll follow me up. No, she didn't follow me up. She missed out on a fortune because she attached too much pain to follow up. But had she tapped into ultimate pain and had the ultimate edge, she would have not let me breathe. She would have been all over me. She would have known when that package is going to be there and call, say, hey, you should have the package now. So if you haven't gone through it, I'll call you back in a few hours. How about that? You know? Yeah, that's the edge. That's the edge. She's hungry. You can do anything with hungry. And with the ultimate edge, you can go through steel walls. You're unstoppable. So those are my thoughts I wanted to share with you tonight. And really, it's true. It's the whole psychology to this thing is just that. But you can't replace it with techniques. You can't replace it with strategies of social media and the latest things, the latest buttons to push, the latest funnels, all these gurus that people follow, and they're looking for the magic dust to fall on them. And most of them just don't have that edge because they're not tapping into ultimate pain. And that you have to get by spending time with yourself and really searching your soul and then understanding. Try to see your life 10 years from now, 20 years from now. If you don't do this under your present circumstances, what does your life look like? Are you happy with it? How does it feel? Think about the emotions you're going through, the life that you're living, an unfulfilled life. How does that feel? And when you can stay in that state long enough to visit with that person you're going to become, then you can find that pain. And then you'll have the ultimate edge. So, anyway, you guys have a good night. And that's right. The magical dust doesn't work. You got that right. Hey, and I looked for it too years ago, man. I tried to figure it out. It baffled me how people became successful. Baffled the heck out of me. You know, but, and I didn't know. I can remember back in the 1980s, I was riding around with a rodeo cowboy. He didn't graduate from high school. I think he made it to junior high, but he was making $20,000 a month, and he was my upline in a company. And we were riding around in his truck one day, and he said, "You know what, Jeff?" I said, "What?" "I found that being in the right place at the right time is better than being smart." I said, "Okay." But you know what? It's not about being in the right place at the right time. It's finding the ultimate edge. Tapping into that. And then if you do that, then you can make things happen. You're going to make things happen. Because if we don't do that, yeah, I'll work it when I get some time. I'm busy today. And then the next day, yeah, I'm busy. Oh, I got that to do. Yeah, I got to go cut the grass. I got to go plant some flowers. Oh yeah, I got to paint the house. Oh yeah, I gotta. Oh, if they're interested, they'll call me back. Right. Okay. So that's it. Anyway, I hope all of you enjoyed this message, and good having you on tonight, really. If you got value from this, you can share it. And George always wants me to remember my book, Reaching the Peak, is on Amazon. Reaching the Peak. It's in English and Spanish. If you haven't read it yet, please do. And I'll put out some more value tomorrow. Thanks for joining me this evening. Love all you guys. Take care.